Welcome to You're Not My Father, a family-oriented, tongue-in-cheek show about things your father should have told you, maybe just a few he shouldn't have. Funny, irreverent, and useful. Get ready, we're podcast superstars. Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Brando Greenman, your host for You're Not My Father. I'd like to wish you all a very happy holiday and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and everything else that you probably take advantage of during the holiday season. Today, in our episode, we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about the best Christmas movie ever made, at least in my opinion. And then how you can be a better parent for the holidays. I know it sounds like it's probably a hard job or it's an easy job. Either way, we're going to delve into it today. We're going to share our tips and tricks on how you can be a better parent for the holiday. But let me ask you a question, and we're going to be a little ambiguous about it. We're going to play a game. What is the best Christmas movie ever made? You have a few seconds here. All right, so if you answered Die Hard,
2 points.
That's right. Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever made, at least in my opinion. Some people may not quite agree with that, but it truly is. You have the protagonist, John McClane, who goes up against one of the greatest villains of all time, Hans Gruber. And you've got comedy, you've got humor, you've got adventure. You have really probably one of the most original stories ever created in something like this. If you're not making it a part of your holiday Christmas tradition, then I suggest that you do it. And this is how I typically watch Die Hard on Christmas or around the Christmas holiday. Is that you get pizza, Twinkies, Snickers or a Mars bar, kind of dependent up to you, champagne, and you're probably in a pretty good position to enjoy Die Hard. There's people that probably incorporate a little bit more into it, but I just like to eat some of the food that kind of happens in the movie, which there's not a whole lot, but if you can understand the pizza aspect of it, you certainly get the rest of it. So highly encourage you to check it out. So on to our advice section of this, and we're going to make this a little bit short today because we have to get back to doing things for the holidays. It is the day after Christmas, and so we're slowly trying to clean up after everything that's gone on. And, for us, we celebrate Hanukkah, and as of last year and this year, we kind of quasi do a little bit of Christmas. And the reason for that is, we didn't always celebrate Hanukkah, but now that we do, we kind of miss Christmas, and our kids certainly miss Christmas because, their friends do it, and some of them do Hanukkah. And so for us, Christmas has become so commercialized. All holidays, honestly, have become so commercialized that really, depending on how you do a holiday, is really how you is really kind of more the intention of what's behind it. If you celebrate Christmas from a strictly religious standpoint, there certainly is a certain different meaning to it. The same as what you would say with Halloween. If you subscribe to the more pagan, ritualistic aspects of Halloween, yes, there's a much different way that you celebrate that holiday than what is traditionally, a fun time for adults and kids to dress up in costumes and have candy. That's all that it really is. And so for some people, Christmas is like that too. And for us, it takes on a bigger connotation that Christmas is more of a holiday about family. And really for us, we think that all holidays are more about family in a lot of aspects. And we try to celebrate them like that. And that is one way that we can make it more special. So my story about the holiday was my parents were great. They went through a divorce. We went through a divorce. When I was young, I think I was around 10 or slightly before that time. But before that, our holidays were really nice. Nothing memorable. There wasn't some limousine showing up or some plane coming to whisk us away to faraway exotic lands. It was all at home. For what I can remember, it was fun amongst the family. There was cookies. There was a Christmas tree. There was really good things that even to this day, I really remember really well. One of the traditional things that we did was we watched the Goonies around the time it came out. And we rented that movie back in the day when you had tape rentals. We would rent the Goonies and we'd watch that, almost every Christmas. And so it was kind of like a Christmas tradition. So for us, that movie has nothing to do with Christmas, but for me, in a way it kind of does. Kind of like Die Hard is, to me, a Christmas movie, but in a way it's not, but it still kind of is. But, those Christmas holidays were kind of, I wouldn't say ripped out from under me whenever they got a divorce, but things certainly changed. Dad wasn't at home. Mom really wasn't into the holidays, and my sister ended up moving out. We, things got really quite kind of different, and they weren't really the same for a long time. And, I kind of did my own kind of vision quest of sorts to try to find happiness in various different ways and trying to incorporate the holidays into it. And it never stuck. I was in a lot of different relationships, and I went to a lot of different places in this world, and the holidays seemed hollow. And so now that I've been in a family for a long time, my own family, my own making, that's really what the holidays are about. They are about family. And without them, they do kind of feel hollow. So my number one advice I could give you is to make it more about family and less about the holiday. I'll repeat that one for you because it's worth hearing again. Make the holidays more special by making it more about the family and less about the holiday, because that's really what it is. The day can come and go, but if your family's not there, what isn't? It's kind of a tradition, but family really makes it worthwhile. So what we do is how we decentralize the holiday and turn it into something completely family oriented is, I'm going to go to the bottom of my list because it really needs to be at the top of the list. Enjoy the holiday. Don't stress out. If you're stressing out, you're doing it wrong. You really are. So if you're planning all these things and you're being this conductor and you're trying to make it this complex thing, and if you remove yourself from the situation, the question is, does it fall apart? And if the answer is yes, it's too complicated. It probably shouldn't be that way. It really should be more about, spending time with each other. What my brother-in-law would argue that quality time is any time that you spend with family. I certainly don't necessarily 100% agree with that, but I really like the spirit in which it's intended, that every time with your family is good. It really is. So yeah, don't stress out about it. Just enjoy. You can have a plan. You can have your traditions and make some new ones and buy presents and watch movies, but does it really have to be all on a specific day? Does it have to be between these hours and those hours? I was flipping through Facebook, and one of my friends, they started Christmas really early. I think it was like 4 a.m. and just kind of blew through it in, several hours. And I was like, that's pretty awesome. that you can just kind of pivot and shift because, 2020 and 2021, what do we not pivot and shift on, with COVID? But yeah, the element of people trying to turn the holidays into something more meaningful, and adapt to whatever the situation is pretty awesome. People using Skype and Zoom and Microsoft Teams and FaceTime and Google Duo, all these different remote technologies to try and bridge the gap between family and the holidays it makes my heart glow. It really does. But being open to new traditions is another big thing for me. The old traditions are great. The old ways are great, but new ways, they're good too. Um, yeah, how did a tradition come out anyway in the first place? How did it ever show up in your family? Somebody introduced it. It was something new. And, if it doesn't work out, no big deal. Maybe it wasn't popular. You can always do it again later. But yeah, incorporate that into it. I'm not a big card game player, but we played some great card games. We played, what's it called? Kids Against Humanity. It is the much, much far removed PG G-rated version of Cards Against Humanity. And so it's got some choicier parts that, kind of toe the line between G and PG, but it was great. We all had fun. Conan was loud and super loud, and he got a little louder, even louder. And I'm not sure how late he stayed up, but he obviously had a good time. We all had a good time. It was great. I don't know if we'll always do those types of card games, but we'll see. Next year is next year. You never can tell what's going to happen. But any other new traditions that we did? Since we're in a new house, we certainly had more space. For us, trying to adapt to that new space, a lot more space, has been a bit of a challenge. So, we've been here 6 months. I've traveled so much here recently that in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like the last couple of weeks has been like the first time that I've actually got to settle down and relax in my own house. With business being busy, there's all kinds of different things. So for me, it's been especially relaxing holiday. It really has. I feel like I've smiled a whole lot more than what I typically do. It's not to say that I'm some big sourpuss, but the holidays have been great. And I hope that they continue to be. So having that new house, that new space, we're trying to form our own traditions here in how we do it. With presents, the other thing, I'm going to tell you, buy presents whenever. Don't make them the absolute key to the holiday. I really don't like the idea of like, well, you have to wait until exactly this time and then you can open up your presents. It is kind of its own neat kind of little tradition, but I'd rather give my kids their presents when it seems right. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to hold off and be like, after the holiday and you don't get any presents during the holiday. But no, I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, we're going to give you this tonight, or we'll do this tonight, or I'll give you this ahead of time. Looking for those moments in time that, where it feels kind of meaningful to do it. And not just on one day. That's one of the reasons why I like Hanukkah so much, is because you've got so many nights that you can do things in. And it's not just one particular day. I feel like it's a holiday meant for families, where Christmas is like everybody's in a big rush and you've got to do it before, the morning and the night. And, it's one day and all this other stuff. I feel like Hanukkah is more forgiving in that you have so many days and nights to to do things that if you mess up on a certain night, you've got another opportunity to do it again. And it's almost kind of like a revelation for me is that, that is kind of cool, that you could just kind of get another day to do it over, or you can save some for another day, or maybe if you wanted to do a whole bunch in the beginning and then just kind of let it peter out towards the rest of it. It's pretty neat. I think it's changed my idea of, what a holiday could be. And really, I think that's kind of the crux of what this episode's about is that, I don't stress out anymore about holidays. I'm not too concerned with the presents. I'm not too concerned with the traditions. Really, it's what we can do together in that family. And, you should really cherish and adore and love your family, even the bad parts of it. This is going to be a little bit controversial, but there's a bunch of controversial things that go on out there where family members have different political views and it spills out into an emotional type of response. And to me, I'm going to say, put away that. Somebody else's political ideals should never get in the way of love and your family. There's plenty of people that I've grown up with that I disagree with. There's plenty of people I know that I disagree with. But it doesn't change how I feel about them. And I don't necessarily think of them as wrong. It's just that they're different. I don't like whole tomatoes. I don't hate people that don't like or that like whole tomatoes. I'm certainly not going to run after them and fuss and scream at them and whatnot. I think there's just too much hate in the world. I think we all should learn to love and respect each other a little bit more. Maybe keep your opinions to yourself in some ways, or at least don't force them on other people. I think it's a good thing. I think too much communication can be a challenge, and not enough can also be a challenge. I think with all things in the world, as kind of my philosophy type of presence is that there has to be a balance. And so you should always strive for balance. You should never let the scales be heavier in one side than the other. We need that. And that's kind of what being a parent is about. You can't have one child greater than the other one, or, one parent greater than the other one. The family has to be in balance. And if it's not in balance, then there's a problem. And I think the holidays are a great opportunity to essentially kind of come together again and not think, well, I'm glad I only see them one time a year, but really make that an opportunity to solidify and change that thought pattern into finding something that you love about each other, finding that commonality, finding that space together that you can do something together with. That's really what the holidays are about to me. So if you've got family, and I know it sounds cheesy, and it's probably like every holiday movie you've ever seen, it's like, well, we all end up loving each other instead of hating each other. And I've got to say, sounds cheesy, but is it that bad? I don't think it is. I mean, not unless your family is a bunch of criminals and they do horrible things. Yeah. I mean, you've only got one family, take care of them, love them. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? So that's really it for me. That's another episode in the can. This is season 3, episode 1. It's really kind of more like season 2, episode 10 and a half, really. But we're kind of using this new format. We've got some new tools. We're trying to make this sound a whole lot better. So we appreciate any and all comments. We know that in a podcast realm, it's hard to get those kind of comments and feedback, but we really appreciate it. And if you're a fan of the show, we're a fan of you. We love you. We wish you all the respect and love in the world, and wish you a happy holiday of upcoming 2022. And just enjoy yourselves. And we'll be back next week with another episode. And hopefully it sounds a little bit more polished than this one. Like I said, we're kind of taking this new equipment out for a spin. But we really appreciate what you do. And we're looking forward to bringing you another episode soon.
Thank you very much.